winner, and how was that for you as a man?
Man, that was the worst time of my damn life. You go from your mama taking care of you for most of your life to you being able to take care of yourself, to living by yourself, to move back in with your mama. Now your girlfriend got to take care of you living with your mama. Come on. Hey, what
Mhm.
the hell? Who does that? But I can't say it was my aunt told her one time, she goes, "You'll be okay. You're making an investment."
All right, what's up, brother? Glad you could join me. So if you can,
Thanks for having me, man.
so this is Eldridge Taylor, but if you can introduce yourself and maybe what you do, that'd be perfect.
Like I said, Eldridge Taylor. Been knowing Christian for about all my life.
For, for the both, for sure.
I'm a lineman for Southern California Edison. Um, been doing that for 8 years now. You know, not too many people that look like me that do this, but
Yeah.
it's a few of us.
Yeah. So,
But yeah,
so where you from?
uh, pretty much Long Beach. I grew up mostly there in Long Beach. Right now I'm in Fontana, so you know, got away from the city life.
So yeah, you doing the whole city. I mean, away from the city, family. You did the whole. What's the blueprint, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. It's not always a good thing. Not a good, I'm not saying not a good thing, but it's not always. A lot of people don't want to leave the city. You know, if I could have got a house, a big yard, a good neighborhood somewhere out there in the city, I would have stayed.
Right. But it's just
There
damn
was
near
no,
impossible. It's impossible.
yeah, you
But
know, I don't make enough for all that.
so I kind of want to get into like I know you're a lineman now, but like you said, you're one of the few linemen that look like you. So what's it like your daily mental going into that profession?
um, it's more of a, you go in knowing that there's not a lot of people that look like me there. You go in there mentally thinking, you know what, I'm gonna be one of none. So
So
it's gonna be me.
do you feel like you have to like sometimes shift your normalcy, like shift your thoughts in a way just because who you're around all
Yeah,
day?
well, yeah, because I can't act the way I act around you and all my other folks
All right.
there at work. They look at me crazy. They
But
look
even
like,
so even on another layer of it, like do you feel like they do the same for you, or do you just have to fit into what they do?
no, I think they know because I'm so quiet around them, so they really don't know what I'm really about. I say
Like
hi to everybody.
we can't trust.
You know, you know, I, you know, they see the quiet black dude that really don't say too much. He really don't get into it with anybody. He laughs at everybody, so he's not really somebody that's trying to fit in, but trying not to fit in.
Mm,
And that's what I do. I'm there to work. And that's why I tell everybody, I'm here to go to work, go home.
yeah.
That's simple. Nothing more, nothing less.
I do know your aren't your hours pretty crazy?
Yeah, I always get crazy sometimes, man. Uh, Longest shift we can work is 24 hours, so we'll be there from 6 a.m. to 6 a.m. some days.
6 a.m. Goddamn. So is that
Yeah.
is a lot of that downtime, or is that like what does that look like?
Now it's a lot of uptime. Like we barely get to just chill. We probably the last maybe 2 hours is just like clean up, get everything out the way, and maybe go sit down somewhere and have a coffee or something. Go get a donut.
Uh,
Because at that point it's 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, all right, well, we finished the job now. let's try to decompose, decompress. I'm sorry. Let's try to decompress a little bit.
So how's that balancing out like work and life when your shits those ain't normal hours?
Say it again.
So how's it balancing the work life when you those aren't really normal hours?
Yeah. The good thing about it is if I work 24 hours, I'm off the next day all day. So, and
Yeah.
I won't have to go into the following day.
So
So
is that
usually if
mostly
I
like
work,
sleep?
yeah, well, usually when I work 24 hours, I'm
Dead.
getting home at 8 o'clock and I'm not getting out the bed till 3, 4 o'clock
I feel it. I
p.m.
feel it.
And then got to turn around and try to fall asleep by 10, 11 o'clock to be back at work at 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock.
Yeah.
So I mean, you know, it's it's strenuous on the body, of course.
Yeah.
You know, it's strenuous on the mind. So you have to mentally prepare yourself to work 24 hours.
For sure. That's
And
not I
that's
mean, I'm sure it's I mean, you can show that it's possible, but it's like to have to go into it, it's just ah like that's already something you kind of get exhausted from before you even start. You're like, this ain't
yeah,
about to end no time soon.
exactly. And
Yeah.
that's when you know you're working 24 hours. But some days you go in, oh, I'm working 8 hours today, and they're like, yeah, a car hit a pole.
Uh,
People are out of power. It's
yeah.
time to go to work.
Yeah. So
Yeah, so some days like that is I think it's more of a battle on days like that because you already expect that I'm only gonna be here for 8, 9, 10 hours, then I'm going home, then I'm gonna chill, do what I want to do. And then you get that call like, yeah, it's time to go back to work.
yeah.
Yeah, really?
So
Not really,
even though you're already tired, you can't even address the how you feeling at the moment.
exactly.
So I
So those days hurt a little bit more. But I mean, I think they hurt more, but I think they're easier days because you're not thinking about it all day.
uh
You're not going in at 7, 8 o'clock. At 12 o'clock, you're like, oh man, you're looking at the clock like, dang, 12 o'clock, I got another 16 hours to go. I
yeah,
got another 18 hours to go, stuff like that. You're not thinking about that then. But, but any given day, it's like a pop. Like, you're working 24 hours today. All right. Yeah, I'm working
yeah.
24 hours today. Yeah.
So I kind of want to get into the journey that took you there. Like, so did you already always see yourself doing this, or what was the journey to get there?
No, I knew nothing about this, man. And that's the big thing. That's probably the biggest thing for me. We don't know about this
Mm,
at all.
yeah,
They actually just started a program to get a whole bunch of black linemen in, and then they made it for all races program for them to get in. But we don't know about this, man. It's not something that's advertised to us, not something that's told to us. But another thing about it is, even though it's not told and advertised, when you do have somebody in there and they're telling you about it, people are looking at it like, oh, okay. Do I really want to do something like that? To me, it's like, yeah, you do.
yeah,
You really do. If you're capable of doing something like this, get in there and at least try.
yeah,
Because with working where I work with Edison, if you do 6 months, once you get 6 months in, you can go anywhere in the company and do whatever you want to.
mm,
So,
yeah.
but,
That's
but
stuff
like,
people need to be aware of. Like, so how many drop how many failures did it take to get to that?
how many? Is that again?
I mean, not to say failures, but how many like attempts at other things did it take to get to that?
Oh, man, I didn't get into. I was about 30. I think I got in at 30.
You got in at 30.
So yeah, so from 18 to 27, I was just working all kinds of little jobs, security, 24-hour fitness, McDonald's, and all stuff like that. But
Man,
once I learned about it, my mom told me about it. I was working security, and she was like, "Do you want to do this?" Security wasn't doing what it needed to do, so I was like, "Yeah, you know what? Let me go ahead." I had to go to school. I had to move to Texas for four to 6 months. Move out there, learn it, go to school for it, and then came back home. Failed the test to get in the first time. Had to wait 6 months, passed the test, then finally got in. So
damn,
from the point where I actually went to school for it at like 27, 28, to getting in was like a 2 year process.
damn. And I'm already
But
knowing it's like it's a, it's a struggle anyway, but also going through all that shit, trying to figure it out, like I already know that shit was tough.
yeah,
Especially that failing that test and having to wait another 6 months.
man,
I know that wasn't
man, that was devastating. That
man,
was one of them like how did I fail a physical fitness test, a physical
man.
agility test?
It
Well,
was
I
a
mean,
physical agility test you didn't pass.
yeah,
You didn't pass the physical part.
the physical. I passed the written part.
Yeah.
But most people fail that. They couldn't pass the physical part.
Oh damn, I know that shit hit you. Cause I just know
Yeah,
it you, I know it hit you.
exactly, man. Like, come on. With the physical part, if you told me I didn't pass a math test, okay, I understand.
Yeah.
You tell me I can lift a 70-pound weight? Oh, yeah, there's a problem.
So so what did young Eldridge want to do? What did young Eldridge want to do?
I want to be a firefighter. I want to be a cop.
Really?
I want to play professional football. You know, I mean, one of all the glory
You
jobs.
had all the American dream jobs
You
lined
know what
up.
I'm
Huh?
saying? What all of them, man. But
Yeah.
all that didn't fall through for me. The cop thing couldn't pass the damn lie detector test to save my life.
A lie detector test.
Yeah, they thought I
What
was lying about everything going on in my life.
so what's the process? What did you have to do?
So from what I remember, you have to go in, you talk to a background investigator. They set you up for a lie detector test, a physical test. You know, what else? It was good, man. It's been shit almost 10, no, 15, 20 years since I've done that.
So you probably lying right now, huh?
But yeah, yeah, you know, right? I'm telling the truth. And the crazy part about it, the only time I did pass a lie detector test, I fell asleep.
Wait, what?
In the middle of the test, I fell asleep.
And then you pass.
And I passed it. I was like, you can't fall asleep. I was like, okay, well.
Only time this nigga, the
Then I
only
ended up
time this
passing.
nigga ain't lying was when he's not.
Exactly. I'm probably really lying right now because I'm asleep. But
Yeah.
yeah, that happened. The fire department, they actually, when I was supposed to get in, they stopped hiring for some reason. So they're like, well, you can go to school, go to Rio Hondo for a year, and then when the hiring process picked back up, you're in. But I didn't want to. Well, I got tired of waiting around.
Yeah, I feel it.
After a certain age, you'd be like, yeah, I'm not. I can't just wait no more.
Yeah, and also it's just the stresses of the everyday life of
Yeah.
yeah. Plus, also I mean, I know well, I know you was raised by what you would say was a single mother, single black mother.
Mm-hmm.
So there's the balances of that and dealing with that. So I kind of want to get
Yeah.
into like in your point of view, how did that even prepare you or assist or take you to where you are now? And what things did you
Hmm.
learn to avoid or bring to your relationship now?
Yeah. As you know, I was raised by one of them like mothers. You're 18 years old, you're getting out of my house type mothers.
Mm-hmm.
Even though she didn't put me on 18, but you raised
But the
on that.
pressure is there. The pressure is
You
there.
have, yeah, you have to do something. You're
Yeah.
not going to sit around the house and not do nothing. So I never You know, I never, I grew up with the mindset of you always have to do something, no matter what. No matter what you're doing. If you gotta go work at McDonald's, you gotta go work at McDonald's.
Yeah.
So that was so growing up with that whole mentality, it's just like I've always worked. I was working since I was 9 years old. So, I've always worked.
Yeah.
So I know that's what that came from. And that was because she's single mom and you got the pressure of you have to take care of her.
Hmm.
Even if you don't have to take care of her, it's like, well, I want to. I want to make sure everything's
It's
okay. I
still
want
your
to make sure
responsibility in a sense.
exactly. So
Yeah.
you always feel like you have a sense of responsibility, some way, somehow. There's always, there's never you first
Yeah.
mentality when you raised with a
Yeah.
single mom like that. It's always what can I do? I was raised to what can I do to help the next person?
Mm.
You know,
Yeah.
so like now being raised by a single mom with me and my girl, I'm like, yeah, there is no way in hell that no matter what happens between me and my wife, that she will ever have to raise them by herself.
Yeah. So like in seeing
No matter what.
in building like the difference, like what are you noticing now that you're there? What are you noticing the biggest differences are?
Um, Honestly, just the dynamic. It's not just one person telling them what to do, where to go, how to do it. Now
Yeah.
you have two people in your ear how to tell you what life is about. You know, and you two consistent people. I mean, you hear people all the time. Growing up, you hear people all the time. Oh, when I was young, yeah, this, that, and the third. But you hear it, but they're not there.
Mm.
Now with my girls, you have a mom and a dad both telling you when I was your age, yeah, yeah, yeah. So now you have to. Now they get two people in the air, and I think if I had my dad around more, things would turn out a little differently because now you have a man telling you what's going on
Yeah, you
compared
get
to
different
just your
points of
mom.
views.
Exactly.
You get different perspectives that can give you more
Exactly.
well-rounded.
Yeah.
You might not have to go try it yourself because you're not just like,
Yeah.
well, my mom be saying stuff because she be saying stuff. Like she just be,
Exactly.
she's always worried. So I gotta try
Mm-hmm.
it one time.
You don't know she's not a man.
Right, right,
Like it's stuff I can't tell my daughters. Like this stuff I don't know.
right.
I can't tell them about woman problems and what women go through. I
Mm,
mean, I've seen it because I grew around nothing but women, but I can't tell them exactly how the feeling is. That's
hmm.
her job. you know?
So
So
have you ever lived in a household where there's two adults, like where your mom maybe may have been dating or something, or just living with two adults, like
I lived with my dad for a year when I was older. I was
mhm,
like, yeah, 14, 13, 14 years old then. But at that point, it's not really about you're not really trying to learn from you. I wasn't really trying to learn from. I was more trying to get away.
mm. You're like, I just
you know,
gotta
you
get out.
you want to be your own man at some point.
Yeah.
13, 14 years old, you've been raised to be a man all this time. Now you want to be your own man. Okay. No, he ain't around anyway. So if I go over there, he have to be there anyway, so I can be my own man. Lo
Mm,
and behold, he was around a little bit more than I thought.
mm,
But yeah, so I did do that for a little while, but no, nobody, my mom never really had, it was never like a consistent man. There was one, I call him dad to this day, but it's
right.
just like, it wasn't never, and I was young though, so I never, between the ages of 7 and 15, that's where you get most of your growing,
Mm,
you know, because 15, you're like, okay, 16, most people driving by 16, so they're out the house a lot more.
hmm.
17, 18, then you figure out how to be an adult on your own.
Right.
So I just feel like I didn't have anybody. I only had my mom between those ages, 7 and 15. It's like, okay, it's me and my mom.
How'd
there
that
was there was there was my dad around, huh?
I was just gonna say, so how's that dynamic work out with your relationship with your pops now?
Well, for a while I really didn't want to deal with him. If it wasn't for my mom, I probably would have never dealt with him.
Mm.
If she didn't tell me to give him a chance, I probably would never gave him a chance. She said, "Give him a chance." I gave him a chance. We like best friends now.
Yeah, yeah.
but
What I find is real like I don't know what it is, but there's like a real difficulty when it comes to like father and son communication and stuff like, and even
mhm,
just knowing how to like give love in a sense. You know, there's
yeah,
a real like big disconnect right there where it's like I had to have a come to moment with my pops where I like had to like be like, hey, this how I'm feeling about shit. This what's been going on. Like this my perspective. Like he it's not
yeah.
I don't think he like cared much, but it felt good to talk to say
That's what you need to get off your chest.
you know, it's like they still have they way of doing things, but it's like
Mhm,
you gotta get your shit out there
yeah,
because it's a weird position being I think specifically being a black son with
hmm,
there's like a I think there's like a especially when I think when it's like my mother identified as a single mother,
yeah,
but I still have my pops.
hmm,
So in a sense, she was a mother that was single, but my pops is still there. I was, you know, I still had to connect. I still went every other weekend and all that type of stuff. But it was like I still don't ever think we got I we knew anything about each other for a long time.
yeah,
Like
exactly.
even now we just like, okay, now we cool. We can
Yeah,
have conversations. It's
hmm,
real, it's like a respect level, but it took a long time.
hmm, yeah. And it does, man, because like you just said, growing up as a black son with a single mom is is different. It's a different dynamic. You know, not having another man around your life just to put his foot in your ass, so to
Yeah,
say. You
yeah.
know, not even not in a mean way, like oh to make you be a person, be a man, but just to when you mess up, sit you down and tell you messing up type thing.
Mhm.
You know, when you're doing good, to sit down and tell you how good you did type. You know,
Yeah. And also it's
you,
like when you're that black son, you're kind of the man of your household when you're not supposed to be.
yes,
Like
exactly.
it's funny. I
And you grow up being the man of the house. That's what you
right.
grew up at.
Like it's funny. I was talking to my younger brother, and he never really had to do that because
Mm,
I was doing that most of the time, right? So now he's moved into his own
yeah.
apartment, and he has to build all his own shit. You know, so he's like calling, stressing, like what is it? And it's like it's funny. It's like because when I think about it, I've been having to like just as simple as just build all the stuff in the house since I was probably
Yeah.
like even like 5 or 6 or something like that.
Hmm.
You know, it's just a different.
It really is, man. It really is. But that's why when you grow up as the man of the house, so to say, you have a whole you're supposed to, and I'm not gonna say everybody does, because there's a lot of dudes out there that just really still ain't shit.
Mhm.
But you're supposed to have a different mentality about stuff. You know, you're supposed to you as man of the, when you grow up as a man of the house, you grow up knowing there's things that need to get taken care of, and you have to take care of it. Period.
Right,
No matter what, no matter what you need to do it, you're going to take care of it. You're going to make sure it's taken care of.
right,
And that's just growing up with a single mom, and you know, but you have siblings. I didn't have any siblings. It was just me. You
right,
know, so like you had to most definitely be on top of things because you had a little brother to look out.
right. It's like it felt like everything just changed.
Yeah,
Uh,
exactly.
and plus,
Now I have a
I
kid
had my little
myself.
brother real late. I mean, my mom had my brother real late, so it was like I
Yeah.
was already about to be a teenager.
Mm-hmm.
He kind of just became my responsibility,
Yeah. Exactly.
you know.
Exactly.
I
And,
was
and I was like the only boy in my on my mom's side of the family for 10 years,
damn.
and then my aunt decided to have a son.
So, quick question about that.
Uh,
I know, like, because I kind of was that for a while until my little brother was born and stuff. But in that role of being the like that only boy around all the women, was there like a like where everybody saw you as the one?
yeah,
Like,
of course.
yeah,
Yeah, you spoiled.
uh,
You get everything you want. You're taken care of. All your aunties around, grandma's around. But all you doing is going for our women.
mhm,
So you're not getting that how to be the man thing. You're learning on the fly, so to say.
so how do you think you learn how to be a man, and if you can identify it?
You know what? I honestly think just having a bunch of strong women, a bunch of women around me that you know I'm not supposed to be like that.
Yeah,
I'm supposed to be, I'm supposed to be a little more controlling. Even though they were controlling, it's like, okay, so I have to be stronger than them
yeah,
because you know the man's supposed to be the head.
yeah.
All these women are the head right now, so that means I got to be stronger than the head.
And if you're saying something, you better be making
I got to
sense.
be, yeah, you know what I'm saying. You have to be, you got to be mentally manipulative.
Yeah, I was just telling my brother about that the other day because he's like just turned 22, so he's just really learning like all the stuff and like
Yeah,
with my mom and like I told him I'm like you have to really learn how to teach the people around you how to treat you, and
yeah,
you have to kind of demand that you don't be manipulated, you know,
yeah,
because
exactly.
a lot of ways a lot of people speak in manipulation.
Hmm.
Like they'll just say one thing just to get you to do this and just to get you to do that, and then have emotions of all type that come behind things that you weren't even aware you had to do. You know,
Yeah. Hmm.
so I was
And
just
see, the thing with him is he's in school.
he just
You know,
graduated.
going away to school, it it, it
It
makes you grow
helps.
up a little.
Yeah.
It
Plus, I
makes you
think
grow up a lot.
you have that little gap where
Yeah,
you just you're expected to take care of yourself, but not fully. So
yeah.
you're kind of just adjusting to it, and then
Hmm.
when he just graduated, he's like, okay, it was a quick thrust to like, hey, now you really have to do it. But
Yeah.
it's to the point he kind of has a little he's already got a little push going already where it's like, okay, he got his little apartment, he got everything going.
Hmm.
It's like he's cool, you know?
Yeah.
Where
Exactly.
where in my sense, it was like I I went to some school, community college, and tried here and ended up having a got had to leave my mom's house, stayed with
Hmm.
friends, stayed all over the place, stayed with my pops for a second, like where it was a long learning lesson
Yeah.
where yeah, it's a different transition.
Yeah. And everybody go through their own roads in life.
Yeah,
Everybody, but most people learn the right way to live it eventually.
yeah.
The right way to go.
You just gotta learn your own way.
Exactly.
So I
And
wanna
that's what I mean by the right way. Your way is the right way. How you learned how to get there, that was the right way.
it's just however you got. So
Hmm.
we're about to come to a break, but before we do, I want to start a transition because I want to ask you, being that you was raised by a single mother in a single household, did you see much marriages, and what also made you get married?
Yeah. Too much marriages? No. I can recall, huh?
Eh,
No, I don't know. Hey, none of my aunts are married. Well, one of my aunts married, but I didn't see the wedding. But yeah, no,
Yeah,
I didn't see I didn't see marriage weddings and going to weddings until I got older and friends started getting married.
yeah. But also just in a sense, just marriages as in marriage as a many married people. So
Mm.
like what was the influence to get you to get there?
Because me personally, I felt like it was the right thing to do with the person I was with. Because she was, I couldn't see myself not with her. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know how selfish that sounds, but yeah, it's just like after all that she went through with me and going, me leaving, going away, her having to come all the way to Texas to come see me, and then me not having a job and her having to be the breadwinner, so to say,
Mm-hmm.
for me type thing. It was like, you know, you put her through this. Now it's time for you to step up and be a man.
Yeah. So
you know,
I'm gonna pause you right there because we're gonna do a little break, but we're gonna dive back into that. All right.
okay, all right.
All right. All right. So if you can, um in growing the dynamic to what the relationship you have now, what was that like that those moments where she was the financial, the breadwinner, and how was that for you as a man?
Man, that was the worst time of my damn life. You go from your mama taking care of you for most of your life to you being able to take care of yourself, to living by yourself, to move back in with your mama. Now your girlfriend got to take care of you living with your mama. Come on. Hey, what
Mhm.
the hell? Who does that? But I can't say it was my aunt told her one time, she goes, "You be okay. You're making an investment."
Right.
It was like, me joking around, but it's true. Like you helping somebody out that you know is going to be there, is going to be able to take care of stuff. And so the whole for me, it was just like again, like growing up, just being the man of the household, so to say, but already having that mentality that you have to take care of things. With somebody taking care of you, it's like you have to take care of them when you can, you have to. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. There's no, oh well, you took care of me, but I'm gonna go my way and you go your way. No, you don't do that to people.
Yeah.
And she didn't have to sit up and deal with me. She didn't have to continue to be like, okay, you need your phone bill paid this month. Okay, here. You need your car note paid. Okay, here. She didn't have to do that. She
Mhm.
chose to. She invested in her future. But she she did it because she wanted to. And she was able to be off work for 2 years. You
Yeah.
know, she just last 2 years is like, you're good. Now you have to get a job because we got a new house, but
Yeah.
it's just you know, I was able to do it, and I wasn't just able, I was willing to do it
Mm.
because she was willing to do it,
And I
even
think
if she
that's
wasn't
the
because she was
that's the
willing.
part of the conversation where it comes to like the what is it called? The gender
Yeah, gender roles.
the gender roles, that is not really spoken on because I believe the same thing. I believe it's like it's a balance. It's like
Mm-hmm.
where, one time somebody has to do this, the other time somebody has to do that. And it's
Yeah,
like, and that's where like, okay, this is what we're making this union for, because
exactly.
I know if I'm down, there's always somebody to balance me out,
Mm-hmm.
and it's about building that trust to have that somebody,
Yeah,
you know, and I
exactly.
and I kind of think that's forgotten a lot. I think
It
marriage
is,
is looked
man.
at as something completely different now,
Yeah,
you know.
exactly. I just seen this little meme and it said sometimes it's gonna be 50-50, sometimes it's gonna be 70-30, sometimes it's gonna be 100-0. As long as we got each other, we good.
Yeah,
And
as long as we can keep on combining numbers, you know,
exactly,
because
exactly.
you know sometimes it's like 80-80, where it's like, oh, we up, you know. You
I'm
know?
doing a lot. You're doing a lot. Damn.
You know? But sometimes, you know,
Yeah.
you got good moments where it's like, oh, it's nice. It could be 2020, you know.
Yeah. Exactly.
But it's
Yeah.
always better if you got that some.
But she did what she could when she could, and I'm doing what I can when I can.
All right. So
Uh,
also
that's like that's how I feel like it's supposed to be.
on that note, I want to add just to so the audience is aware, you also have 3 daughters.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
what do you how are you trying to mold them in this society of what society is? First, kind of what do you see, and then what do you try to enforce?
Yeah. Well, I want them to have that attitude where, you don't need a man, girl. You can take care of everything yourself. No, not at all. That is not. I would hate for them to have that mentality, but I want them to be able to think about stuff and like, if I want them to be able to take care of whatever they need to take care of. I want them not to be able to say like, I don't need a man to be with me, but I want a man to be with me. Type attitude.
Mm-hmm.
I want to have a man because that's the way life's supposed to be. A man and a woman supposed to be together. That's the way you're supposed to go about it. But you're not supposed to take care of nobody. If you need to for a second, okay.
Mm-hmm.
But you're not going to have a dude that just sit there and you're taking care of constantly, and he's not bringing nothing to the table. It has to be again a 50-50 type split.
So what are some of those other intangibles that could be brought to the table that maybe you was bringing to the table when you weren't able to do it
Oh, I'm
financially?
sorry, Christian. Marie just walked out here and yeah,
Mental health, brother. It's something in the spinach. It's a live still.
it's a moth.
A moth. When they get here,
Anyway, yeah,
no, when they get here, I'm going to say the brother down the street.
okay.
See, we're gonna have to get her in it next.
Right? That's what she said. I gotta do one with them. Talk
For,
about my mental health.
for sure. But I kind of want to know why there's a moth in the spinach.
Right? Like, did it grow in the spinach or
Y'all need to get y'all money back for that. But on the on that same note, just with having your daughters and like I don't know. I mean I don't have daughters I don't have daughters. I don't even have any kids, but I can just imagine how difficult that is, especially having 3 of them. And just in what's being shown to in the world and everything, it's got to be a little
yeah.
difficult, you know.
I mean, it is, man. It's hard because you have to monitor. You have to monitor what they watch. Like you have to monitor what they see. You have to monitor. It's not, and the thing is, you can't monitor who they're around because outside of the house, they're around
Yeah.
who knows who.
Yeah, and I'm definitely like
So
I'm a progressive thinker. I know, sexual freedom. I appreciate, everything, but also it's just still a tender balance of what your kids can learn at what moment and how and by from who,
exactly.
so it's
It, yeah, my thing is, I don't want you to teach my kids nothing outside of them learning schoolwork and history, math, language arts. That's all you need to teach them. The rest of that stuff needs to come from me
mm,
and my wife and their grandparents and their uncles and their aunties. Because you can't like the whole like you're saying them watching certain them seeing other things. Like I have to monitor what they watch on YouTube. Like I literally just took all their tablets. Like okay, everything's educational for now on because I don't want you seeing certain things because that's not what I'm teaching you yet. You're not ready for that.
Mm-hmm.
And I hate to say, but all the dudes I work with, since I work with all the what they call them, not the conservatives, what are the other type of people that just hate everything. I work with a bunch of dudes like that, and it's like, yeah, man, Target, we can't go to Target no more. We can't drink Bud Light no more. I'm like,
Yeah.
I mean, I understand, but you know, y'all pretty much right, but it's just the way they come off about it.
And that's where it's crazy. You got to keep the balance, even with all that stuff going on nowadays, because you can get quickly thrown into a category that
Yeah,
you don't really promote. You know,
exactly.
everything
You
has
know,
to
and
walk with a fine line.
yeah, exactly. And long as you know, it's not outside society job to teach a kid what alternate lifestyle is.
Right.
It's not your job.
But also
That's
like
my job.
even, but also when it comes to like, then there's still the balance of, do you shelter them to the point, because although there's always that point where
Yeah.
somebody who doesn't see anything and then they get a spark of seeing something, and then the whole world actually ends up teaching them whatever they want because they're so
Yep.
drawn to it.
Yeah. Yeah. And see, my thing is, I'm gonna I'm gonna control what I can in the house. When they come home and they say, "Oh, for instance, Marie's mom is married to a woman. She has a bald head. My girls say all the time, why Granny Nene looks like a boy. Granny Nene be like, no, I'm not a boy. I have titties.
Mm-hmm.
Grandparents teaching them, I'm not a boy. I have titties. I am a girl.
Mm-hmm.
I chose to cut my hair. That's what grandparents are for. Shit like that.
Right.
Teaching them little stuff like that. It's not a oh well you should shave your head too. Oh, I'm a girl, I shave my head, so we all should do this. No, it's like, no, I'm still a girl. I shave my head because I chose to.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Now it's not getting too deep into it. It's just letting them know this is what I did. You know, their auntie, same way. She shaves the side of her head, braids her hair, wears her pants off her ass and everything else. You know, Auntie Lala look like a boy. Auntie Lala tell him real fast. Like, no, I just like to wear these clothes. It's
Mm-hmm.
okay to wear the clothes if you want to. You don't have to be like me. Like, so that I like that I do have people around them that are actually living another life
Yeah.
that I can teach them that it's not it's okay, but you don't have to. I'm not gonna force this on you because that's what again, hey, dudes I work with, but sometimes they sound so smart. That's what society, that's what they're pushing on these kids. Like, look. No, it's not for you to push that. They have people in their life that can tell them already. I don't need you.
Right. And it's
So
like,
when they outside and they come home, I can correct their action. I can only
and it's
control what I
like,
can control.
and it's and then, because I definitely hear you, and then I mean, I in a sense I agree, because nobody wants to be forced, because it does feel like it's kind of everywhere, and especially in like black media, there's not
Yeah,
much in any type of black movie you're gonna see an alternative of everything in any type of in it
yeah,
for sure.
yeah,
But also, just to be for inclusion and stuff, I do understand it, but it's also still the balance of kids TV shows and all types of things where it's not even that's not even the point of the show, where
not
I,
even
and that's where it's like it's very confusing. That's why I want to get your perspective, because it's like I can't imagine. Like, what do you do? What do you show? How do you teach? Is every moment a teaching moment where you have to kind of sit down, like, okay, well, this is this is this, or
Mhm.
like,
Yeah, but see, like I said, they have their auntie, they have their grandma, and it's just one of those like, okay, it's been said, and since they're so young, it's not really. It's like, oh, okay, now I know what I know that I know Granny is a girl, I know Auntie's a girl. So they'll even say little things like, oh, he's not supposed to be doing that. I'm like, what you mean he? What does he do? He has a dress on. He's not supposed to wear a dress. He's a boy. Thank you for telling me that. Because now I know you see it.
mm,
So I don't have to teach it all the time. Like it's not always a teaching moment. They'll just to me, they'll naturally see it and be like, okay, that's not that shouldn't be. But if he chooses to, okay, that's his business.
mm,
But I don't have to be type thing. And again, they're young, so I'm not really. I'm seeing little things.
yeah,
I'm
it's
seeing
yeah,
the
and
little
that's but
understanding of stuff.
even the fact that it's present at their age
Hmm.
already, it lets you know
Yeah,
where lets you know what to look forward to.
exactly. And
You
the
know?
good thing is, like I said, we have people around us that are lesbians. We have, I mean, I don't think they met any of her gay cousins yet, but you know, they'll see that, and they won't have to learn it; they'll know it, type thing.
Uh-huh.
They'll be like, "Oh, well, I know where my uncle is. My cousin. I didn't know a gay person in my family until I was kid, 13, 14 years old."
Yeah, and because a lot of stuff was just more hidden when
Exactly.
but and we're coming into an age where you should be safe not to hide,
Yeah.
but you still have people that are parents and are raising kids that still, I don't know, have to guide, trying to
Hmm.
guide their growth.
Yeah.
So it's a confusing situation. So I don't
It's a slippery slope
like
for
I'm
sure.
lucky where I don't I'm lucky to the point where I don't have kids, so I don't have to take any hard stances.
Hmm.
So I can because I can just I can see all the arguments where people
Yeah.
want to be included, where this wants to go on, where it's like it shouldn't. I know it shouldn't be like, oh well, this is the right thing to do and that is the wrong thing to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
But also there's still the I don't want you to be over influenced, and where it's just you're doing things just because you're seeing things.
Hmm. Yeah, exactly. I know what I want for you. I know what I want you to grow up and do. I know exactly what I want you to do. What you choose to do is your life.
Yeah,
I can only guide you the way that I see is the right path.
right.
You can go whichever way you want to go. You know, whether my right path is you have to be married with 3 kids and your husband is making $350 million a year because by the time they get older, that's going to be the norm.
That's gonna be how much gas costs.
You know what I'm saying? In your electric SUV type thing, whether that's the right way or not. No, I don't think that's the right way. But I'm just saying, like I can guide you to where you're comfortable with your life.
Yeah.
That's all I can do.
All you
And
can
that's what I think is right. As long as you're comfortable, then ain't too much I can say because it's your choice.
mm,
I can only be your dad.
yeah.
Now you told me you want to be a little boy, we might have a different perspective about stuff. Cause yeah.
That's where I think it gets sticky where it's to the point of I want to the decision having full decision to say I am something completely else, you know,
Yeah.
where, if you feel I don't know. I don't even know. So what do you I don't know
And
what
one
do you
thing is,
do?
it's not meant for me to know because it's not me living it.
Right,
I feel like
right.
everybody should live their truth. Live your
It's
truth. Whatever you feel like you
especially,
want to be what you.
you know,
But be what you want to be to yourself. not to everybody else. Because everybody else, because it doesn't matter. Everybody else, I don't give people, oh, I'm straight and I love women. I'm not going out there telling everybody that. I don't need to know that you're a boy that want to be a girl. That's none of my business.
That's where it like also where it trips me out, where like let's say something in media come out where some dude like a rapper or something is like holding or like hugging another rapper too much, and then they'll blow it up like, oh, you know, he's gay, and it's like how are y'all gonna criminalize people for one side of things, but then criminalize somebody for just being them? Like if he is, he is.
Yeah,
So what's
leave it alone.
I don't get where one side of it is news and one side of it is not supposed to be news. You know, where
Exactly.
one side parents aren't supposed to complain about one thing, but in the other side where it's okay to act appalled at it, you know?
Yeah.
That's where, you know,
it's so crazy. And you know, crazy another thing is like they had this this whole, oh, let's protect our children, let's protect our kids movement type stuff. And I literally had to look it up myself because I heard about it. That rapper Lil Nas X had a video where he's dancing with a bunch of dudes, giving the devil a lap dance or whatever it was. But you type in kids shows or some shit like that, his thing pops up on YouTube. This was like, it had to be about 6 months ago, but his thing was actually popping up. This music video of him with a bunch of dudes prancing around and little bitty shorts on and dancing, and him giving a lap dance to the devil and all this other stuff. I'm like, you're supposed to be protecting kids. They don't need to see this. Even if it was a Cardi B video on there, these kids don't need to be seeing that. Why are y'all allowing that to be on something that says kids show?
Right.
Kids cartoon or whatever it was, but it had to do something with kids. Typing in something about kids, and that's popping up.
Yeah. But
I don't want my kids seeing nobody twerking. I don't want my kids seeing no dude kissing another dude. I want to see my kids seeing a man and a woman kiss right now. These are kids. They should supposed to be watching cartoons. And cartoons should not be having gays and lesbians and transgender, all that stuff, and because it's a cartoon and it should be about being a cartoon, not your open agenda that you're looking
so
for.
even with the because it's like what kids, YouTube Kids, and all that other stuff.
No, it was on YouTube Kids. That's what it was. It was on YouTube
It was
Kids too.
on the actual like YouTube Kids.
Yeah. So if you type in something, I forgot what it was. I would have to look it up and Google and everything, but it actually popped up the video. I'm like, come on. This is supposed to, YouTube censor all kinds of stuff. Y'all couldn't catch this.
That is very true. They will. They'll ban
You
stuff very
censor
quick.
everything. This is y'all didn't catch it. Come on now.
Yeah.
It's weird. Now, if I'm watching a show and it's got a bunch of gay people and lesbians and transgender, okay, I'm watching the show. That's me. I'm a grown ass man. Not my kids. Okay.
So, do you think there's a motive?
I think there's agenda. Yeah.
Yeah.
And see, I think it started off innocent. I honestly think it started off real innocent. I thought it was just, okay, let's just make this a norm. And I think they took it and ran and said, let's influence some people, because there's a lot of kids that are being discriminated against and held back to what they want to be. Again, that's not your business. That's not on you. That's not on you, media, to tell these kids what they should be.
So then
that's on your parents.
So then, if that's the case, then what's your ideas on the motive behind the motive?
Oh, that I have never
like why is that something that wants to be, why is that?
I don't know.
Because
then we could go to the whole who is it affecting more? Us.
Exactly. And that's now you see what I'm doing.
Because then we get into that, like, what are they trying to do?
Yeah.
And
and and I don't want to make it like everything comes to that, but in actuality, a lot of times everything does come to a line of racism, a line of this.
But and see now, see going somewhere I want to go. But all right, we're there. We're doing it to ourselves. We are literally,
Detail. Let me know.
we are
Expound.
literally doing it to ourselves. Prime example. Why is Tyler Perry one of the richest black men in Atlanta? What did he start off as?
But I honestly, but no, it's but the thing is I I hear you when you say we do it to ourselves, but I also do see that when you do have though when you have certain negative agendas within your art form, a lot of the speed bumps are laid smoother for you. You
Okay.
know, where
Okay.
it's like where you hear about some people trying to, you know, have big name production studios and trying to do all these things, and they get all these blocks or something. This will happen, and all this other, so you know,
Yeah.
certain stuff.
It's hard. It'll get hard. But why continue what you know is trying to bring you down?
That's the thing.
You
Like
know?
even when they say Tyler Perry got a stake in BET.
Yeah.
I'm like, what does that mean? He's on BET all day. Like his stuff is on BET all day. And I still even with him having the huge studio, it's like I don't be wanting to be a hater because I love that.
No.
I love that black man is in the position where he's able to put out what he wants and all this other stuff. But it's
Yeah.
like it's I don't think it's by accident that all our film and stuff be feeling so trash, especially his specifically where it feels like there's not a lot of effort put into it, you know?
Yeah.
Like, and and it feels like in the grander scheme of things, it helps us hate ourselves more, you know?
It is true. Yeah.
It helps the people who draw into that fall more into it, and then it helps the people who know and want to stay away from it look like they hate themselves, you know, because they look like they don't support themselves, you know. So it's immediately divisive, you know.
Yeah, you 100% right. I didn't even think about all that. I didn't think about that part, but you're right because I hate when I see little things like, oh, all the uh all the famous black actors had to play a woman at one point in their career.
Mm-hmm.
Now, see, there's certain ones that I say that was their choice because they just want to be funny.
Right.
Eddie Murphy, for instance.
That was well within
Yeah,
their range of comedy. Or
exactly.
yeah, that's what
Eddie
they did.
Murphy, for instance, I think he did it because he's just a funny
Yeah,
dude, and that's what he
yeah.
does.
That's Nutty Professor. That's
What
and
Martin
that's
did,
yeah.
what Martin did, Big
Shanika
Mama House,
and also Shanae.
which Shanae is like that's well within their range. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like that's in their range.
But Kevin Hart popping out with a dress on SNL was not really that's not really something he does.
Exactly. Dave Chappelle never had to do it because that wasn't in his realm of comedy.
Mm-hmm.
Like that didn't come in his circle of
He
what
did
he could
he
do.
did say they asked him to though.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Now that's further in their agenda, of course. But you can't force it on somebody that's not in their repertoire.
Right.
Jamie Foxx in his repertoire.
Yeah, that's well
You know what I'm saying?
yeah, he actually shined within the role. Type,
Yeah.
you know, so it's
But to continue it and to continue, I feel like to me that's like you're way more detrimental than anything. Because you continued it. If you
okay.
did it, go ahead.
Okay, so I know you don't have much time left and we're about to run out of time, so I want to ask you something, and I want to just get your full perspective. So what is your idea on what's really going on with black people, with us, and in our state? What does our future look like for you? What do you feel as like in your position, what do you feel is going on?
I honestly, I feel like one, there's no way you can. Well, there's no way you can stop us, because even if there's five of us that said I'm gonna be outside of the norm of what they want me to be, that five is more powerful than anything to me. That's just my personal opinion about it. Like I feel like that five can overtake anything. So I feel like there's no way of really slowing the blacks being in certain position. Even with Tyler Perry doing what he's doing, he's in a position.
Right.
And he's gonna bring in let's just say he brings in 100 black people and
At least
93 of
one
them.
of them is gonna use that
Exactly.
platform to,
One of them is going to be outside that norm, and that one is going to bring in another one, maybe two. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So I just think that that people are scared for a reason, and they know it.
Yeah.
Like
I mean, so what
even
do you think
with
the core of the reason is though? Like, what do you think they?
I don't know. That's the crazy thing. Like to me, everybody should just be like, oh, we're all the same. We all came from the same place. Blah blah blah. Anyway,
Mm-hmm,
for some reason, the melanin skin scares people
mm-hmm.
for no reason at all. Like, why are y'all scared of us? Well, I can understand why they are scared. We're aggressive as hell.
I mean,
But
but also we just
that's you.
we exude power, and and
Yes.
and also in
Yes.
is in other races that is more comfortably exuded. You know, our power
Yeah.
has to be muted. You know, our power is taken by fear, is feared quickly.
Yeah. But see, and I was looking at something that Malika posted. The whole that the government said that there was a UFO came in and everybody on UFO was black.
Mm-hmm.
And they all had this attitude of arrogance.
Yeah, they had the
That's just a normal black person.
exactly.
Like,
But we've been actually programmed to not have that arrogance out of
yeah,
survival.
yeah. And
And the
even when
thing
I go to
is,
work, I'm like, I'm not arrogant at all, but I understand why
yeah,
some dudes look at me a certain way. It's like
yeah,
because I can't get that look like, okay, you know what I mean?
yeah.
Like, really?
And that part of the video, it
Right.
did stand out to me too, where it was where he noticed just how they presented themselves of
Yeah.
that not being abused and tortured for hundreds
Hmm.
of years. You could tell.
Yeah. But see, even with them saying, with people saying, oh, well, black people are abused and tortured, black people, so they're oppressed. No, you look at some black people, even black people that are just down and out. You can look at them and see the what's the word I'm looking for, the kingness, the
Yeah.
queenness about
I
themselves.
mean, because in actuality, we never had to actually have monetary value to have our actual value.
Exactly.
We
We
never,
just happy to be alive, type people.
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
we here, we can't take over, but we're not gonna hurt you by taking over. We're gonna
No,
include you.
you will want us to take over because
Exactly.
it's it's just a natural state.
Exactly. So like I'm not really concerned about it. Even if I see little shit that's going on, I'm like, it's not gonna happen because again, people like me at my job, it's like I'm there to bring a whole lot in. If I can, I will. I'm gonna get to a position where I can and start doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And then all it takes is three or four of us to rule and take over. Because there's people out there that's not black that want to be around you for the fact that you present yourself as something more than just the norm.
Mm-hmm.
You present yourself as that king, that I
Yeah,
got it,
and
but I got you at the same time.
and that lets you imagine what is the true black norm. Like,
Yeah,
what could that
exactly,
be? You know?
exactly.
Yeah.
And me and my mom got not got into it, but we talked about the whole Woman King movie, and I was like, you do know that the black people were enslaved. That tribe was enslaving other black people to send over there, right?
Mm-hmm.
She goes, no, no, no. I was like, You gotta read about it a little bit more.
Yeah, that's the thing where I was like, you still see the stuff that they allowed to be shown.
Hmm.
You know, it's
Yeah,
still is a lot of it's still just rooted in a lot of
yeah,
shit anyway. Because once you start looking into it, you'll be like, oh yeah, well that was fucked up too. So but
yeah.
it's like most like,
Exactly. We fucked up too, but that's because they started getting this monetary stuff coming in. Oh, you have to have this. You have to have. No, you don't. You
yeah.
have what you have exactly what you need where you are.
Mm-hmm.
At any given time, you have exactly what you need in a position that you're at. You just want more,
You're
which
always
is
you're
human
always in a
nature.
state of want, which
Exactly, which is human nature.
mhm.
But if we were that before they had took us, we had what we needed.
And that's the thing. And that's the thing where I don't think that's actual human nature. That's the nature that's been
Given
blasted
to you.
upon us, where
Hmm.
it's so against our nature, but we are forced to that every day. And that
Exactly.
and that goes back to the question, why the whys? Why is that? Why you keep on
Yeah.
asking why, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly, man.
But we wrapping up, man, and I think I'm gonna have to have you on again because we was just getting into it for sure.
Yeah, for sure, man. Yeah,
But
I'm always here. I'm always willing. As long as I got some time off, I'm good to go.
for sure, sure. But yeah, I appreciate you having you, man, and I hope all goes well for you, brother.
All right, bro. Appreciate you, man. I love you, man.
All right, late too, man.